Hi, yeah, it's Jackie here with the LGFA, and we're on a call today looking ahead to more club activity over the weekend. I have three very special guests to talk to and lined up this afternoon. Top left-hand side of my screen is Gerry Rogers from the Breda Club in County Down, looking ahead to a very first Ulster Senior Ladies Club Championship final against the mighty Donaghmine at the weekend. Bottom left is Clíodhna from Bennekenny, Tinryland. Have I pronounced that okay, Clíodhna?
Yeah,
Good.
yeah.
In Carlow, who are also playing in a county final on Saturday, and Clíodhna is going to play in that game and hopefully get a result, and then she's going to hightail it up to the TG4 All Stars in Dublin. So it's going to be a busy Saturday for Clíodhna. Thanks for coming on, Clíodhna. And Shane Ronayne, a man who needs no introduction. You've been on here before, Shane. New manager of the Cork Ladies Senior Football Team and also still manager of Mourneabbey, who are in a county final on Friday night against Éire Óg and Páirc Uí Chaoimh. Historic occasion, Shane. Nice place to start. Game has been live streamed by the Examiner in Páirc Uí Chaoimh under the lights. Should be a great occasion, Shane.
Yeah, look, you couldn't ask more for a county final. We were delighted a few weeks ago when we got the news that we were going to be playing in Páirc Uí Chaoimh. We didn't tell the players till after the semi-final, just to keep it under wraps. And look, I think it's fantastic and brilliant work by the county board in Cork and the men's board and the stadium committee in Páirc Uí Chaoimh for allowing this to happen. It's going to be the first time ever that has been in Páirc Uí Chaoimh, so it's fantastic. And added in then a Friday night lights game. I think it's going to be a fantastic occasion. Everybody's going to really enjoy it. Like Páirc Uí Chaoimh is the new stadium is, it's a magnificent setting, and we were in there last Saturday morning just for taking a few photographs with the captains and things like that, and it's just immaculate. Like, and it looks so impressive, and it's my first time being involved in a game, actually on the field there. So I'm really looking forward, and I know all the players are as well, especially those players who don't play for Cork. From both sides, I think it's going to be a fantastic occasion for them and for their families to be in Páirc Uí Chaoimh, to be in such a brilliant stadium.
Shane, it does make a difference, the occasion. Okay, right, from your point of view, you're a team manager, you're very much focused on getting a performance from the girls and hopefully, from your point of view, getting a win. And, I mean, you'll take a result wherever you can get it, whether that's at Páirc Uí Chaoimh, Croke Park, whatever the venue is. But when it comes to something like that, it does make a difference to the actual occasion, Shane. Although, look, from your own point of view as a manager, you need to blot out some of the external factors around a big match like this. But at the same time, as you say, Páirc Uí Chaoimh, under the lights, you couldn't ask for much more from a county final.
Yeah, look, when you've been in a couple, I suppose, lucky to have been involved in teams in places like Thurles and and Croke Park as well. It's certainly very special, and it does add to the occasion when you walk out in the stadium there. No matter how big or small the crowd will be, it's just something special. And I think any player who can get to experience that in the big stadium in the country, it's really brilliant. And it's going to, I think, be something we'll all remember, because it is our own home stadium in Páirc Uí Chaoimh for Cork people, and I think to be given that opportunity, like, it's going to be very special. You really enjoy those days in Croke Park when you walk out, and just even the whole setting, the pitch is it's different gravy to anywhere else, and I just think when you look up in the big stands and you see the surroundings, it's going to be fantastic. And look, I think under the floodlights as well is going to even make it more special.
Yeah, it's going to be cracking. And fair play to the Examiner as well for coming on board, and the live stream should be a great occasion. Gerry Rogers, how are you?
Very good, Jackie. Thank you.
I was on the WhatsApp to one of your backroom men last night, Jerome Quinn, and look, he's going to be popping out a few videos during the week, Gerry, to give us a real flavour of the excitement around the club. It must be just a great sense of anticipation as you look forward to the weekend now.
Yeah, Jackie, it certainly is. I mean, within the club itself, it's the 50-year anniversary of the club. I founded back in 1971. So it's very, very fitting that probably the biggest game in the club's history is now actually happening on the 50th anniversary. It's a great tribute to the men, back in 1971 who founded the club in Belfast during the Troubles. The likes of Jim O'Keefe, Matt Morgan, Matt Wallace, a man from Wexford, who was the first chairman of the club. So for those gentlemen, it's a major tribute now to the club, and hopefully we can go forward on Sunday and do justice to those guys.
I'm sure you don't need reminding of the size of and the scale of the task that lies ahead of you, Gerry. You're up against a really, really good team.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Donaghmine need no introduction. I mean, their achievements is phenomenal, and with the utmost respect for them. I think they've won now 19 Mullen titles in a row. I was told today that this, and I'm not sure this is correct, but this is either their 18th or 19th consecutive Ulster final, of which they won 12 and went on to win 5 All-Irelands. In contrast, we won our first game in Ulster 2 weeks ago, and this is our first Ulster final. So in terms of achievements, we're not even on the same pitch. We're not even on the same ground, to be quite honest, but we'll prepare with your best, and we'll see where it takes us.
Absolutely, and you're there on merit, Gerry. I mean, a lot of people from the outside looking in would have looked at that team from Antrim, from Mourneabbey Glass, and said, they could be dark horses, but you took them out. Yeah,
I mean, it was, but it's Jackie. It's a result of a lot of hard work over the years. I mean, there's serious youth structures in the club. I mean, Breda won 3 Ulster Club minor titles in 2016, 2018, 2019, which is a fairly major tournament up here and hard fought by all the counties. So the players are coming through and the groups are coming through. And, and I have to say as well, I mean, our junior team, we have 2 senior adult teams. The junior team this year won the Down Junior Championship, which was quite incredible. They then progressed in Ulster and beat Drumgun from Cavan, and then just lost out narrowly to Cork Macross last Sunday. So we could have almost had 2 teams in 2 Ulster finals, which is a tremendous achievement. It's a tremendous reward for all the people over the years in ladies football in Breda, the effort that's been put in.
Gerry, who's writing the book? If it's 50 years, it sounds like there's a terrific story to tell. All jokes aside, about the club, Gerry, and the eras and the various eras that the club has, first originated from and lived through. It seems like there would be some tales to tell.
Like Jackie, you can imagine 1971 in Belfast was not an ideal place to try and create a club. But the likes of, as I said, Jim O'Keefe, Matt Morgan, Farah Matt Wallace, these guys had the vision and the determination to put a club together. And I'm sure those gentlemen would be highly impressed with what's happening now and how the club has developed on all codes and all fronts to where it is today. It's quite a large urban club. But no, really looking forward to Sunday now. As I say, I hope we can do justice to the founders of this club on Sunday. It's a big occasion for the club, as you can imagine.
Absolutely. Wish you well, Gerry. Clíodhna, how are you?
Good, Jackie. How are you?
Good, thanks. You're looking forward to Super Saturday, as I guess you could call it in your own world. It's going to be a day to remember, hopefully, from your point of view.
Yeah, a very busy day, so could go very well, could go very badly, but hopefully, yeah, goes well.
So what time is the county final at in Carlow on Saturday, Clíodhna? And how much time do you have to get togged off and into the car and up the road and into the Bonington Hotel and get the glad rags on? It's going to be a fair push.
Yeah, it's going to be tight. So throw in Carlow is about 1:30. So that'll be over, all going well in normal time, by about 3 o'clock. And then you have to probably be leaving Carlow around 5. So it'll be a tight one, but sure, look,
you'll make it.
A good day.
You'll make it. Come here to me. How has life been since the summer that you had, and obviously you were our Player of the Month as well, award winner, and obviously winning the ZuCar Golden Boot Award as well. I mean, a tally of 919 across the championship is exceptional shooting. Clíodhna, have you enjoyed the little bit of attention that's generated?
Yeah, it's been great. It's kind of been good to have the attention on the Carlow ladies in Carlow. I've been on the radio and just in stuff in the Nationalist, the local newspaper. It's kind of good to get the publicity for the girls, because we did have a great year. So it is nice just to the team is getting the recognition that we deserve for the year that we've had. So that's been really nice, and even hopefully then it kind of gathers a crowd for the final on Sunday. Or Saturday even, sorry. It'd be nice to get people coming in to watch, because the quality is there in Carlow. So it's nice that everyone's getting the attention these days. And
Clíodhna, it was extra time against Antrim in the All-Ireland Junior semi-final. So I mean, you were almost at Croke Park, and I mean, Shane talks about the big stadiums and the big venues and the atmosphere and everything that goes with it. You were in Croke Park on All-Ireland final day and received your award just as Meath were celebrating winning the senior title. What was that like, and did it give you a little hunger to get up there and to get into that stadium with Carlow sometime?
Oh yeah, it was surreal. I was kind of in the middle of all of it when Meath were celebrating, and it was just brilliant to be there. But yeah, definitely would love to play there someday, hopefully next year. But it would definitely put hunger in you to try get to the All-Ireland final. We were so close. I think we were 3 points up with about 6 or 7 minutes to go. So it was fine margins in the end.
Yeah, absolutely, Shane. Fine margins, Clíodhna talks about there. Obviously, from a Cork perspective, there was the All-Ireland semi-final against Meath, and it looked like it was done and dusted in the 59th minute, and back came Meath, and look what they did in the final. Shane, you know, from the outside looking in, did you think that Meath had that level of improvement in them from semi-final to final, when, let's face it, they could probably consider themselves fortunate to get out of that semi-final after extra time and get into a final? But the level of improvement to play Dublin, and the homework they had done, just from a coaching perspective, Shane, I'd imagine you were impressed.
Yeah, look, you have to say in the semi-final that Cork had done a very good job for 99% of the game. You know, they had beaten the Meath system, and in fairness to the lads in Cork, they had great work done, and the girls played very well, and they were 6 points up, but as you said, 2 minutes to go, and it was, you know, you if you were from Meath, you could easily have been heading out the gate, like, and because it was over. But you know, just a couple of minutes of madness, I suppose. You know, and then Meath just kicked on from there. I think they got great belief out of that. You know, when you beat one of the big guns, I think it gives you great belief. You know, they beat Armagh, who had been a very good team the year before and were still a good team this year. I think just they went into the final with no fear. And sometimes, I suppose, anything was a bonus. And kind of Eamon was saying that all along. There was kind of like they were in bonus territory, and you know, that bonus territory can give you belief. And I think they kicked on. They were extremely well organized. They have a fantastic system. You know, maybe things didn't go right for Dublin either. Like a couple of big Dublin players, I think, were, you know, might have been 100%. And you have to be 100% when you're playing against Meath, against that system, and against the pace and the power that Meath team have. And look, if they can stay together, they're going to be around for a good number of years. Like I know there's a few older players in the team, but they have a very young cohort on their team, and I think it's going to be a very exciting championship next year. And they put the hats off to them. I thought they were excellent in the final, but you still look at how very good they were. And they still, Dublin, you know, who probably didn't perform up to where they should be, and they were only 2 points behind at the end. And great save in the first half from Hannah Tyrrell. You know, could have gone either way. But I think Meath just kicked on, and I think they were full of belief. And you know, you have to applaud Eamon and Paul and all the lads who were involved with them. You know, but I saw it myself there in 90. We beat them in the 19 final with Tip, and we played them that January in a challenge game. And they just were absolutely flying, you know, and there was no hangover from losing 2 All-Ireland finals in a row. And you just had to be impressed with them. And they dealt with COVID very well. And I think probably the COVID situation helped them. They had the late All-Ireland in 2020, and they kicked on, and they just kept going. You know, they had a little bit of a break, but they had great belief and great momentum. Whereas if an All-Ireland final had been played back in September in 2020, you know, you would have had a longer period off, I suppose, before you were kicking into the season. And maybe that wouldn't have happened, but there was great momentum. And I think they did show me that day we played them in that challenge game that they had serious pace, great system, and a great hunger. And I said that to him, and after that match, that, you know, I think it was testament to the players that after losing 2 finals, they were coming back in January, absolutely hopping off the ground. And look, they obviously have a great bunch there. And as I said, the backroom staff with Eamon have done a fantastic job. And look, they were excellent in the final, and they were worthy winners.
I'm sure you're thinking about how to break them down if you do come up against them next year. Shane, we won't delve that far inside your mind. I guess, when do thoughts really start turning towards the new job with Cork, or is obviously the vast majority of your focus still with Mourneabbey right now, Shane?
Yeah, look, we actually held a trial last weekend, Jackie, first trial with Cork, and we've trials. We've nothing on this weekend, because the Páirc County finals on in Cork, and we'll be trialing again the following couple of weekends. So I'm working way behind the scenes with Cork stuff. You know, I had put together the backroom staff. You know,
yeah.
You know, I suppose I took my time with it, got as many good people as possible involved. You know, I think it's going to be very fresh. You know, a lot of new eyes, new voices. You know, people who hadn't been involved before, and I think that's very important. And I suppose I'm just at the moment, I'm lucky I've got 2 good backroom staffs with both teams, and I'm working away. So look, I like I'm probably under a small bit of pressure at the moment, but you know, I think the enthusiasm I have for it, you know, I can find the time, and I'm happy at the moment. But I have one eye on Cork at the moment. Obviously, you know, Friday night I'll be concentrating on what we're doing ourselves, but then, you know, over the weekend I'll look back in the game and see, you know, look at where Éire Óg played, and I've been to a lot of games myself there in the last few weeks, and a lot of the selectors have been to games and things like that. So, you know, you have to. I can't just go in there and say middle of December, right, and we'll start with Cork now. We're working away behind the scenes all the time. We're constantly looking at improving things and putting things in place. So when we do kick off with Cork, we'll hit the ground running.
Yeah, it should be interesting times ahead for yourself and Cork, and of course Mourneabbey first on the agenda for you this weekend, Shane. Gerry, when it comes to preparing your team for, I guess, I think the phrase uncharted territory might be a good way to describe it. And you're coming up against Donaghmoyne, and I'm just looking at Donaghmoyne's line of form, and okay, they were taken to extra time in their own county final, but it's fair enough to say in the Ulster Championship they've obliterated their last two opponents. They seem to have just gone up a notch. So how conscious are you of Donaghmoyne and the damage they can inflict? Or on the flip side of that, are you just in a situation where you're going to go out, express yourselves, and trust that your players have it in them to produce a performance that's going to give them problems?
Yeah, well, Jack, I think both teams know each other quite well, believe it or not, because we played Donaghmoyne over the last 2 years in Ulster.
That's right. Yeah.
And all come out the wrong end. So we know the Donaghmoyne players, we know how they play. And I'm sure Donaghmoyne are quite aware of our system and how we play. Yeah, but they're all good teams. I mean, they've come good when they need to come good. You know, they sort of come through the Mulligan Championship, but obviously, as you say, they've been convincing wins in Ulster. And that's what good teams do. I can even say that we are pretty much focusing on ourselves, focusing on our own system of play, focusing on our own players, and really getting ourselves ready, because we've just got to go and play our best game. And if we play our best game, then we'll see where we end up. But the focus is very much on ourselves. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. It's would you look at a story like Meath's, Gerry, and what they achieved as a source of inspiration in a way? If, you know, from the outside looking in, you might go in with the underdog's tag, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're not going in there with the absolute conviction that you're going to do something and achieve something big here.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the Meath story, if you like, from the last number of years, particularly the Meath performance in the All-Ireland final, is an inspiration for everyone. It's an inspiration certainly for teams like ourselves coming through, as you say, uncharted waters. And taking on the big guns. And if Meath can do it, then it gives hope to everybody out there that you really can. It's 15 against 15 on any given day, and reputations and tradition and sort of achievements really count for nothing once the ball's thrown in. And Meath certainly have shown that. And I think that Meath game in general has been an inspiration to ladies football throughout, that really the system can be unlocked, that teams can take on teams at any given day and beat other teams, particularly in ladies football, which was perhaps coming a wee bit sort of sterile in terms of who was winning what all the time. So yeah, I mean, we certainly take inspiration from Meath and the Meath ladies and what they've done, and hopefully we can emulate how they performed on the pitch. Yeah.
Gerry, what's the atmosphere like in the locality ahead of the weekend? It must be a great place.
It's absolutely brilliant. You know, I mean, to have certainly, I mean, it surpassed even what I imagined. Could you imagine this time of the year? There's a lot of club finals, a lot of teams coming to the end of the season as such. But certainly within the club, and I've certainly found even throughout Down that the message of support and acknowledgement from other clubs and managers has said it's been quite inspirational. You know, that people realise that, you know, a Down club hasn't gone this far before, and what it could do for Down ladies football in general. So not only is the local sort of community, the local club, etc., but also the wider sort of GA family in Down has certainly got behind Breda ladies. And yeah, it's amazing. And you know, even with the younger guys in the club, down through it, you know, the under 11s, under 9s, under 6s. I mean, you know, the things they're doing, the buses they're organising, and all the support. So yeah, it'll be a good day out. So hopefully it's a good day on the pitch as well, you know.
Now we'll keep a close eye on that one. Should be very, very interesting. Clíodhna and Shane, there's a mutual acquaintance. Shane, you know him particularly well. Clíodhna, you're going to get to know him pretty soon. Shane, you might take up that point from there. So Ed Burke, a former sidekick of yours, is going to be in charge of Carlow next year. So maybe you can give Clíodhna a little exclusive insight into what they can expect, Shane.
Well, yeah, Ed was with me I actually taught Ed in school for 2 years originally, and I suppose he kind of followed a lot of things that I did. He got involved in a lot of ladies football teams, and when I was reappointed as tip manager in early 19, end of 18, I wanted to get a new coach in, and I went after Ed because he'd done a lot of work with the development squads and tip and done great work, and a lot of those players were coming through into our squad. So Ed proved to be, you know, absolute masterstroke to bring involved. He was absolutely excellent. And last year when I went to Waterford, the first man I asked to come with me was Ed as well. You know, he got on very well last year. The Waterford lads were very impressed with him. he's a fantastic coach. He's also a fantastic, I think he kind of suits the role of manager as well, because he's a brilliant organizer. He's a treasurer in Tip Ladies, and he's doing unbelievable work there with organizing everything. And I see even in school what the work he's doing. So I think he's going to bring fantastic organization skills, but I think he's an absolutely fantastic coach as well. Thinks a lot about the game, real student of the game, is always looking for new ways of doing things. He did a very good job actually this year as well with Bright Rovers in Cork, who'd never gotten the senior county semi-final, and they were beaten ultimately by Éire Óg on the day, but he did great work getting them there. So I know that Bright Rovers players are very impressed with him, so I think he can bring a lot of success to Carlow. He's very passionate. He doesn't suffer fools. He wants things done right, and I think he expects high standards. And I think as Clíodhna said there, they were very close last year, and sometimes maybe that little bit of outside influence, and I suppose a bit of experience that Ed has of getting over the line with Tip in 19, and seeing what senior football is like, and the experience blowing Waterford last year as well, and he's widespread club experience. I think he's a fantastic appointment for Carlow. I think he'll certainly do a very good job there, and I think I think all the Carlow girls will be a few months in. I think they're going to be very impressed with it.
Clíodhna, that sounds that's music to your ears, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a really exciting time for us anyway, because as you said, we were very close last year, and could be good to kind of, get a new perspective. And even if he comes and tries to get new girls in, I know he's organising trials and stuff already. So I haven't actually spoken to him myself yet, but I'm really excited to meet him, and hopefully we have a good year.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you that, Clíodhna. Have you met Ed yet? So obviously not. He'll probably do Shane will probably do the one-to-ones with the players eventually when you get back to a collective sense of training and that.
Yeah, I'd say he's waiting until after this weekend anyway for the final, and then probably go straight at it then.
He'll be an interested spectator at the weekend. Clíodhna, what are you expecting from Saturday's final? Looking forward to it, obviously.
Yeah, looking forward to it. It's actually going to be the 7th final in a row that I'll be playing in. Our club has been in it the last 7 years, and in the last 4 have been against Old Leighlin as well. But they have they've won 3 in a row at the moment, so we're definitely underdogs at the weekend, and they've done quite well in Leinster as well. So they'll definitely be very tough opponents to kind of stop. We haven't actually played them since the last county final, so. But I know the girls quite well, from playing with the county team, and then we've played them the last 4 finals in a row. So old opponents, but yeah, looking forward to it now anyway, and see what we can do.
Yeah, it should be an excellent game as well. Lots of good stuff happening around the country. Gerry, what's the kind of dynamic then? And Shane will know this well, when you step outside the county and into a provincial competition. I know obviously Mourneabbey have enjoyed tremendous success on the provincial and All-Ireland stage in recent times. But is there more or less added pressure when you come out of your county, or is it at the start of the year, is your bread and butter is to win your county title, and whatever happens after that is a bonus?
Yeah, I think obviously you win your county title and still your bread and butter. I mean, obviously if you don't win your county title, you don't progress. So that's your number one objective and your number one aim. And it's important that you perform and you win it. Yeah, I mean, we move into Ulster, but a lot of these guys, we've been through it at minor. As I said, 2016, 2019, 2020. We did sort of the tour of Ulster a number of times and been to various venues throughout the province. And yeah, it takes on a different profile because, the changing rooms, the venue, the travel arrangements, the food, it's different from playing local or even away games in your own county. So you gotta get the whole day right. You've got to get properly set up and properly adjusted. And get the girls in the right place, and then hopefully when the ball's thrown in, away they go. But yeah, the challenge is there for us all to make sure that the day is right, not just the match and not just the actual sort of game time.
Yeah, brilliant, great stuff. So we have Shane on Friday night, Clíodhna, you're out on Saturday, and Gerry, your crew are in action on Sunday. So a great weekend ahead for you three folk, and we wish you well. Shane, we wish you well with what lies down the road. You never know, you could be going all the way into January with Mourneabbey, so you'll have a busy Christmas and New Year if things go to plan from your perspective. Gerry, we wish you well, and you never know, we might see Breda in the new year in the All-Ireland series as well. You never know. And Clíodhna, wish you the very best in your county final on Saturday, and we'll see you in the Gladrags as well later on in the night. So safe trip to the capital as well. But for now, my three very special guests. A little bit of musical chairs throughout the conversation. Top left-hand side of my screen now is Clíodhna from Carlow. Shane Ronayne from Mourneabbey, from Cork senior manager and also in charge of Mourneabbey, bottom left-hand side, and Gerry Rogers from Breda in County Down in an Ulster Senior Club final against Donemoyne on Sunday. Folks, thanks for your time and thanks for coming on today.
Thanks very much.
Thank you. Take care.